What's going on, everyone? Mike and Joe back here for another exciting week of NFL football. We are on week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I mean, we're over half. No, we're still not halfway through the season, but
Oh, yeah.
crazy week last week. A lot of upsets. No buys this week, if I recall correctly. So
No
yeah,
buys.
no buys. I don't think so.
We're six. I assume you're joking.
This upcoming week, there's none.
Oh, this upcoming week. Oh, I thought you meant like this past week. I was like, it was like
No, no, this is the
I was
last week
like,
was the most. This week
I was
is
like,
none.
I was like, nobody played this week. Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
crazy how the Jets ended this week with the same record as last week with no buys. Yeah, no
And they're
crazy.
and they're edging up on the Bills there. But
Yeah, I mean, we can all look at it the way we want to look at it, but oh, and now I see who they're playing this week. Okay, maybe they are, but anyways, let's get into it. I guess we'll figure out if they're gonna inch up or not on Thursday because for the Thursday night matchup, we got the Bills and the Buccaneers, and I'm interested to hear what you have to say because you have been proven pretty much right on the Bills so far this season. So let's hear from the man himself.
but honestly, I haven't been because like I didn't think it was gonna be like this, honestly. Like I know that they're a very high and low team, but like they usually bounce back pretty strong. So I thought that because who did they lose to the week prior? Oh, no, they didn't lose, but they had a bad game against the
Felt
Giants.
like they lost. Yeah.
Yes, it was basically the closest thing to a loss without being a loss.
Yeah, it was
But
bad.
but so like this is beyond a must win for the Bills. Like they have to like they can't win this game by a field goal. Like they have to like
Mm,
win this game. I'm gonna predict them to win, and I think
mhm,
they're gonna win by a lot. But if they don't, I mean, just 2 weeks ago, people were talking about them, being back to the form of a couple
mhm.
years ago. But I don't know, man.
Yeah.
They're a very up and down team, and I can't see them losing this game on Thursday. I can't see it.
Ye- Absolutely. I agree. I will come out and say that Tampa, even though they did lose to the Falcons, they looked good. There were Well, how about this? How about this? I don't want to say they looked solid or anything, but they definitely had their moments. And I know all these teams have their moments, but Tampa's moments were really good. Like there were
Well,
some great passes from Baker. Mike Evans seems like he's playing a lot better than he did a couple weeks
I
ago.
think I think real quick. I think what you're saying is because and we talked about this last week, I think a little bit, or maybe the week before, like how people were expecting like the Bucks ride to be like over and to just like go down a cliff. And like
Mhm.
even though they lost, there still really isn't an indication that they're about to fall and dive off of a cliff. Like I think that's what you're trying to say, right? Because if that is,
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure if they lost 2 weeks in a row
they
now.
did, they did
They
because
did,
I
they did.
because I remember us talking about it last week.
Yeah, so I see them losing 3 in a row, which I don't think is a standard for their how well they're playing. I thought they were gonna fall off a cliff after week one. And maybe they are falling off a cliff. Who knows? I mean, they still lost 2 games in a row. I'm predicting them to lose this week. I think I'm gonna predict them to lose next week, looking at the
Sure.
matchup.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, Bills should bounce back. Played a lousy game. If you get beat by the Patriots, you literally have no excuse. I don't care who you are.
Belichick was
We'll
like,
get there. We'll get there. We'll get there.
but,
We'll
but
get there.
wait, but wait, but wait. Belichick was like, I heard you guys are trying to tank. Let me show this organization something. You
Wait,
ain't
wait. I
winning
heard
the
you guys are
Super
trying
Bowl
to
when I
what?
leave. What?
I heard you guys are trying to what?
Now Belichick heard. I heard you got. They were talking about us tanking. He's like, I'm. I mean, he didn't
Oh,
say this, but I'm just saying. He's like, I'm not. I'm not gonna let y'all win a
do,
Super Bowl when I leave.
do you think now that they signed that Belichick secretly signed a contract extension that your prediction of them trying to tank and then or him trying not to tank because he's leaving soon has that changed since he's clearly not leaving soon
No,
or
because
supposedly?
no, because I don't think as great as I think Caleb Williams is going to be, I don't think he's going to come in like Mahomes and win within the first 2 to 3 years. Like I think it's gonna
Okay.
take. I think it'll take. Like they'll have good seasons, but I don't. Even like even now, like he's got to have pieces around him, and they don't. You know, like you always love to tell me, and you're right. Like they don't have many pieces, so there's still a long ways to go from being a Super Bowl contender team again, even if they were to get Caleb Williams. So
Anyways, Jets, Giants. Um, you want to know what's crazy? This, I mean, the Giants are a bad team, but this is not a toilet bowl game like I thought it would be a couple weeks ago. Even the Giants, even if you take the Giants in this game, I can't even be mad because the question at this point is Daniel Jones the problem? They put up a great game against the Bills and ended up great game. They put up a decent fight against the Bills and ended up losing. They beat the Commanders, who just seem to choke to every bad team in the league. But I mean, it's two solid performances from a backup quarterback, and it's like, is Daniel Jones just the reason that they suck, or is Tyrod Taylor all that?
yeah, I
But
think. Well,
I'm gonna take the Jets this week just because their defense is beyond solid, and Zach Wilson. I don't think he's good, man. I don't think he's good, but I think he's on
hot
probably
take.
the
Wow,
biggest
that's a
hot streak that he's ever not that he's ever had. That's undebated, but that he's ever going to have in the league. I think he's a shitty quarterback. You're a shitty cop, George, but I think he's a shitty quarterback. I don't think he's ever going to go on a better streak than he's on right now, and I think a lot of people feel the same way. So I think he's going to keep carrying that forward.
Yeah, I think the Jets are gonna win, and I think like again, I think it comes down to the Jets defense at the end of the day. Like at the end of the day, they still have a very defense. But the Jets are playing. The Jets are legitimately playing for something. And I know it sounds crazy. Like, and look, I'm not saying that they're gonna. I didn't even think they were gonna be a sure playoff team with when Rodgers was there, but. They have a certain energy that you can tell they're motivated. They think shit. They're like shit. Rodgers might try to come back too. Like I don't like. I really think that this team thinks that they can make a run for it, and it's games like this that they have to win. And I just think at the end of the day, they're playing for much more than the Giants are playing for. Yeah, Zach Wilson versus Daniel Jones. I mean, that's as shitty as it gets, but it's still going to be a pretty good game.
Is he going to be back, Daniel Jones? I don't even think if he's healthy, you put him in at this point.
Oh, come on. That's a little, that's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy.
What the fuck are you talking about? It's Daniel Jones, not like fucking Zach Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. We're talking Daniel Jones. He sucks. He's always sucked.
Yeah, obviously, no shit, but you're acting like their backup came in and put up like these insane numbers. Like, what do you?
Their backup came in and got them a win and a damn near win against a team with a positive record in the Bills.
Look, I'm not arguing like that Daniel Jones is a good quarterback. He's a bad quarterback, but I think that's the stupidest logic I've ever heard to bench Daniel Jones right now.
No, he.
After,
dude,
like, I don't even have, like that Bills game was like that Bills game. If you can't compare, like that was a bad game. That was a really bad game still.
It's all circumstantial though. If you are the New York Giants, you've sucked forever, and Daniel Jones leaves and you put together two performances that are significantly better than the performances you've put other than I guess week 2.
They can't bench him, man, with that contract they gave him. They can't. They just can't. If they,
forgot about
but Joe, that's what I'm saying. That has to do with it. It's like, bro, like that looks terrible on your end. Like,
but they know that. They know they look stupid already. They look stupid when he signed the fucking thing.
But hold on. If this is the thing, right? I only think that they should do that if they think like they got a shot to make a run with whoever they have on the bench. Like, I don't think that's the case. So it's like, what? Like, it just kind of makes no sense to me. I get on the surface what you're saying, but when like I really look into it, I'm just like, especially when and again, I don't think Daniel Jones had anything to do with this, but they were a second round playoff team last year. So it's like, yeah, I mean, we all agreed that was a fluke, but you still, I feel like, have to ride it out a little bit. You can't go off of these 2 games. Like,
I cannot believe they were. But anyways, we've been on this for a while.
yeah, who they beat? Who they beat in the playoffs last year?
Minnesota!
Jaguars, Steelers. Oh, this is a hard game for you. You're gonna lose either way.
I'm going to this game, but I'm actually like going. I'm actually like paying to go, so I'll be enjoying
But
it.
damn.
Um,
Well, I take the Jags. I don't think there's much that could slow them down right now. Certainly not Kenny Pickett.
well, I mean, do we want to talk about the performance? Let me tell you something. The Steelers stole that game yesterday.
I was gonna say
The Rams lost.
okay, I honestly I forgot. I did want to talk about this. That was without a doubt Kenny Pickett's best performance. I don't know if it's Deontay Johnson coming back from injury or I don't know.
But
I still think the Rams are the better team. I think it was a great game between 2 sneaky good teams. And I thought I'd sneak that in there.
The Steelers.
I mean, they're 4-2. What the hell am I supposed to say?
5-2.
Are they?
I don't know.
I don't think they are.
Sounded better.
Yeah, no, they're not. Nice try, but they're 4-2. They're not about to be 5-2 because you know. Anyways, I thought that because I your point last week with the Rams running backs, blah blah blah. I don't think that was a factor. I think that the backup running back, I forget what his name was, Henderson, I think maybe Darnell Henderson. Yeah, it was him. I think that he played really well actually. So I just think that the Steelers ended up beating him outright, which, like I said, I think that was the best performance we've gotten so far from Kenny Pickett. If he can keep playing like that, then maybe he's not what I thought he was. I wasn't familiar with your game, but I don't think we're going to keep seeing that from him. I think that's probably going to be a top 3, if not the best performance from him all year. And I think they're going to lose to the Jaguars.
So and again, I don't want to put words into your mouth, so just clear this up. You think it's going to be like a pretty easy win?
I wouldn't. Somewhere in between a blowout and an easy win. Or I'm sorry, somewhere between a blowout and like a nail biter, like a 10-point win.
I will say
10-point win.
I think the Jags are kind of hitting their stride at the right time, but I still don't know if it's like. I think it'll be a good game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it'll be a blowout, but I don't think it'll be like a nail biter.
I'm torn, and not because of any bias involved. I'm just honestly no, because I'm biased, but I like both. I mean, like there's no it evens it out. I need multiple players on the Jags to do good in my fantasy. I like the Steelers. I'm a Steelers fan now. It's even. The playing field is even here. But I'm just saying, I've seen the Jags, like, people are looking at the record now, and like rightfully so, like, wow, like they're gonna hit the other, but they've had some really weird, shaky wins, man. And I just I can see this. Last week, what I picked the Saints to beat the Jags, and I just thought that was like a type of game that the Jags like can slip up. And I kind of feel the same about this week. I think I'm going to take the Steelers.
That is bias, but okay.
It's really not. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not this like huge Steelers fan, so I'm confused.
Anyways, Eagles, Commanders. I mean,
I think I'll tell you what. I think the Commanders are going to play better than last week, and I think they're going to look like you're going to be looking at it like, oh my god, like if they played a half of this good last week, they would have won by 40.
It does not mean anything at all to say you think they're really better than last week, dude. They lost to the Bears and the Giants. How do you friggin' do that? How do you do that in the same season?
Let me finish. They are the type of team that plays up to their competition. Like we've seen them put up good fights against good teams, and then they play terrible against bad teams. So my point is, I actually think it's going to be somewhat of a close game, but I think the Eagles are going to win.
Well, yeah, the Commanders historically have played pretty good against the Eagles. They are the ones who ended their undefeated streak last year, if you recall, and they played a close game already against
but
them this year.
wasn't Jalen hurt that game? I mean, still, I mean, it doesn't matter. But...
No, I think he was in that game. I think that was the only game he lost that year. I could be wrong.
Well,
but
anyways,
I agree with you. I think the Commanders know how to play the Eagles, but I think the Eagles will get it done.
I was very, very, very surprised at that Eagles score last night.
Dude, I'll be honest, dude. I had so much faith when he threw a pick six. So much faith, and then
I texted you this.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I texted you this last night, and you didn't really respond to it because I could imagine why you wouldn't. But
it was fucking rigged. It was rigged. Bullshit.
People need to understand that we go through this every year, and every year it's like, oh, this team was historically good. The AFC belongs to the Kansas City Chiefs for however long Kelsey is still playing and who they get afterwards. As long as Patrick Mahomes is at quarterback, the AFC belongs to the Chiefs. What?
We'll talk about the Chiefs when we get to the Chiefs, Mike. I don't really want to. You know, you want to know what they called Kelsey last night by accident?
What?
Can you guess? I bet you can guess. What they called him by accident?
I don't know. What were they calling by accident?
Taylor.
Was that an accident? Probably wasn't an accident.
It was an accident. Now you're putting other thoughts into my head. If that wasn't an accident, they can. It's not even clever. They can go kill. I'm going to stop there.
No, wait. And it's no secret that they're doing this because they want to make money off of it. They're making a killing off of this. The NFL.
I know. No, I understand. That's why I said. Wait a minute. You might be right that it wasn't an accident, and that just makes me even more mad. But
it's stupid. But
Eagles W in a close game. Cowboys Rams. There's a big part of me that wants to take Rams, even though I know that the Cowboys are a better team. Look, the Cowboys get beaten by whoever the hell they want to get beaten by, man.
Is that true though?
Screw it. I'll take the upset. I'll take it. I'll take Rams.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just stupid.
Dude, I just don't think they're gonna. I think Nakua looked the best he's looked all year yesterday. Dude, did you see that like Matt Stafford 360 toss that no one is talking about to the end zone?
Oh,
I forget who no one was talking about it. I was watching it like, holy shit.
I'll tell you what, this is what I will say. The Rams, and I don't know if this makes sense or not, but the Rams lost that game last week more than the Steelers won that game. Like that was the Rams game for the taking, man.
I mean, I think you know how I feel about them. I think they're a sneaky good team. And I feel like Dallas is a team that like, you know, is hit or miss on certain weeks. And I feel like they're going to miss on this week because, well, let's see. They're getting off a bye. They're probably a little out of it. I don't know. I just kind of feel an upset on this one. I won't be shocked if the Cowboys win it. I was planning on taking them, but the more I think about it, it's like I could definitely see the Rams walking out of there with a win.
Yeah, I got the Cowboys. I think the jig is up on the Rams.
Doesn't surprise me.
Sorry, I'm trying to be consistent.
All right. All right. Anyways, the Packers and the Vikings.
I don't even know, man. I'm so disappointed in the Packers. I mean, I mean, like I don't lose sleep over it, but when we're talking about it, it's like, damn, because I really, again, I don't think they're this good team, but I just think like they had such a unique opportunity that they just couldn't take advantage of. And so
They
I don't know
suck.
where to go. And I actually,
I'll
in a weird way, and when I say this, take this with a grain of salt. But like I think the Vikings are like showing that okay, we're not gonna be this totally in like this isn't gonna be a complete embarrassment of a season. Like we're
Mhm.
gonna win a couple games, and I think this is a game that they win. So
I'll take the Packers in this game just because they're home and they got embarrassed last week. I want obviously I want the Vikings to win. I think Kirk's gonna ball. I think it's gonna be another scenario where the Packers are down significantly and for no reason they just come back in the fourth. They did it yesterday. Oh, by the way, we're recording this on Monday. They did it on Sunday. They came up a little bit short, but they were down to the Broncos significantly, and then it ended up being a 2-point game, and the Packers had the ball driving down the field, and they just ended up messing up. They could have done it again. So I think that the Vikings are going to put up a great first half performance, and then the Packers is going to do it. The only thing they know how to do, which is make a fourth quarter comeback and either fall a little bit short or get the win. And I'll take them to get the win because they're home.
okay.
Falcons, Titans.
Falcons.
Yeah, I mean, Titans are just underwhelming this year. I don't even know if Tannehill's going to be playing. I know he got banged up a
And
couple weeks ago.
Falcons are in first place in that division now, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right. Yeah. I still am not too impressed by them. I'm more impressed by the two other teams in that division. But
You gotta let go of the
when
Saints, man.
they have a, I mean, I said more impressed. That doesn't mean that much. But anyways, when they play, they play well. When they have their ups and downs. They're definitely a swing team, the Falcons, and the Titans just aren't that. The Titans are just ass at any which way you put it. So I got to take the Falcons on this.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna waste more time on it.
Pats and Dolphins.
Let me just say this: there's no scenario in the world where Mac Jones beats the Buffalo Bills, then next week comes in and rallies against the Miami Dolphins. So like, I'm not gonna come in here and pick the Patriots because there's just no world where that happens. I don't see
You
it.
just
After the Dolphins just had what they had on Sunday night. There's just no way that happens.
want to Drake the Patriots again, don't you?
Oh yeah, I want the Patriots to win. Yeah.
Big Pats fan over here. So we're talking about the Miami Dolphins and a team that's not bottom 3 in the NFL. My bad. I'll still take bottom 5, but I don't think bottom 3. But can we talk for a minute about the fact that if this were another matchup, I'd take the Dolphins to lose? Because guess what? I did not realize that it has been over a calendar year since this team beat a 500 or above team, the Dolphins.
Well, you know what's funny is I actually saw. So I was listening to a podcast the other day, the Bill Simmons podcast, and he said something like before the game this upcoming week, and he was like, does anybody like, they were like, I get it, like people are mesmerized with how they're playing and everything, but they're like, is anybody taking a look at the teams that they've been beating up on? And in my eyes, I was like, okay, like, and I still think there's a world where I'm like, okay, that's still kind of crazy, man. Like the Dolphins, like, let's not act like they're not a great team. They are a great team. And they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. But I do think we all kind of, and rightfully so. I mean, we watch this sometimes where the offense, they look like they're the greatest offense ever sometimes. And it's like, how can you not see that and jump the gun and be like, yo, this, you know what I mean? But I did read something about that is an interesting stat. It is an interesting statistic. I think it's going to come to hurt them in the playoffs. But for right now, I don't think it's going to hurt them against the Patriots.
Yeah, exactly. They're definitely going to beat the Patriots. I can't see a world. We're going to have a very long Patriots talk for next podcast if the Patriots win this game. Whoever they face the week after this, we're gonna have a long talk about it. But Saints and Colts. Um, sheesh.
This is one of those games where I feel like it's like a pick 'em. Like I'm probably gonna lean with the Colts, but I don't know because I feel like the Colts just came off of a tough loss, man.
Who'd they even? What?
Browns
I remember. Give me 1 second.
39-38.
Hello. Hello. Okay. To who?
The Browns.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. But what was I gonna say? No, they looked
What does that
impressive.
mean? You're not a Browns fan. The only thing you do is celebrate their defense.
I like when I'm right.
But you weren't.
But
You weren't right. Continue. Whatever. I don't care. Continue.
I'll take the Colts to win. I think that they were very impressive against that historic defense. And
Okay. At
I
least you're being
the
consistent. I
the, the
respect it.
the only reason I would take the Saints is because I think their defense strongly counters the Colts defense, but obviously the Colts, it's hard to bet against the Colts offense when they just did that to the Browns defense. So that's why I'm going to take it. Jonathan Taylor finally got his touchdown. Um, I'm hoping that he's feeling it because, great player, and I'd like to see him do well. Gardner Minshew is better than Anthony Richardson. Um, Anthony Injuredson. Why does that work so well? But
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I think that's
look, I've been pretty high on the Colts in the sense of I like they're fun to watch. I like them. And I think this is going to be a good game. But I think the Colts are capable of a lot. And with that,
mhm.
I think they're going to
We
come.
definitely have a lot of fringe teams this year. A lot of fringe teams. It's nice. Like I think both of these teams you would call fringe, right? The Saints and the Colts. And then we're talking about another fringe team down here, the Texans and the Panthers. I think when the Texans win this game, not only is that a huge win for the Texans, but that's a huge loss for the Panthers because the only other team that is has less than 2 wins. Help me out here. Who is it? Is it the
Cardinals.
There you go. So I think that the Pats winning, the Giants winning, the Broncos win. I think that's a mistake for a lot of those teams. And the Panthers are in a really good situation right now where they could even win a game or two, and they'd still be pretty high up in the running for a first overall pick or even a second overall pick. And I think the Texans win here. That would I gotta give a quick look at their division, but I know that would put them in a pretty good spot. Yeah, with the Jaguars. The only problem is they're competing with the AFC North for a wild card, and that's just a
They
tough position for them.
they're not going to get into the playoffs. I don't think. But I
I
still.
think that
But I'll tell
I
you
think they're
what.
gonna win this game.
Oh yeah, I think they're going to win this game. I don't think I think the Panthers are trying to lose every game possible. I mean, it's gonna like I said, I told you this, man. Even when everyone was
Mhm.
bugging about the Cardinals, because the Cardinals have what, 1 win, right? Yeah, they have 1 win. Um, they're on the Panthers' toes still, and I think that I really think that the Panthers, if they got to go 0-17, I think they'll go 0-17.
Part of me, I really hope that the Cardinals get first overall because I'm very interested to see where Kyler Murray would land if they ended up getting Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Because Kyler Murray's, I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I think he's a quarterback that needs help to be a performer, unlike, someone like Mahomes or like Brady or someone who doesn't need help. But
I'll
I
tell
just
you
try to
what.
compare Kyler Murray to those guys. Holy shit. But I think that Kyler Murray can be a decent quarterback in a good system.
I'll tell you what. If he was on the Jets right now, that
Ooh.
would be a decent spot for him.
The only issue, yeah, and I wouldn't mind if the Jets had traded for him were he healthy, but obviously, unfortunately, he's not healthy.
Okay.
I think he's getting there. Take that with a grain of salt because I'm not up to date on all my Cardinals, stuff, but I think he's getting healthy. Anyways, we have a
He'll
whole section
he'll
later to
he'll
talk about the
he'll,
Cardinals
he'll magically be healthy when the season ends.
when the playoffs start. Uh, well, if they made the friggin' play. Browns, Seahawks. I'll take the Browns. And with that being said, I don't think this is going to be a cakewalk for them, but I think it's a winnable game for them. I think they're on a are they on a streak right now? I think they're on like a 2 or 3 game streak. I could be wrong.
The Browns, they just lost.
Oh no, they're on a streak because they beat the 49ers, then they beat
Oh
the
yeah,
Colts.
they,
What'd you what'd you say? I didn't hear you.
I thought they lost because like I was just like shitting on
Yeah, because it was the 49ers. Yeah, of course. But
no, no, no,
I
no,
think
no, 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 no. I said I thought that they lost to the Colts, but I forgot they won 39.
right. Hey, so before I forget, by the way, little detour. This is being recorded before Monday Night Football. We were supposed to say that when we started talking about either the Vikings or the 49ers. We already discussed the Vikings. So if anything happened in the Monday Night Football game, possibly an upset, possibly an injury that we think is going to change the outcome of the Vikings or the 49ers game in week 8, we're going to transition to us talking about it right now.
Okay. I see you, Kirk Cousins. I see you, top 10 quarterback, yeah, of all time. Maybe we'll see. Okay, no, not that far. But, I apologize. I was not familiar with your game. No, I'm just kidding. I was familiar with your game. However, I guess not that familiar, because I did not expect you to beat the 5-1, 6-1, 5-1 49ers. So, I'm definitely changing my vote to the Vikings, and this game has just become a lot more interesting. This is, I mean, it's not for the division because the Lions exist, but it's definitely a game to be relevant in the division. So you bet your ass that is the game that will be on my television come Sunday. Go Vikings.
Browns, I think they're going to beat the Seahawks. I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be a really close game. I think it'll be a fun game. Yeah.
I feel the same way. I think the Browns are going to win, but I do also think it's going to be a really good game. And I mean, I could see, I do think there is a world where the Seahawks win, but
I think it's like a 51-49 or close to that for sure.
I think the Seahawks are going to give it a good shot, and then I think the Browns will run away with it at the end. But yeah, we'll see. I hope it's a good game.
I'm surprised about that. I figured you'd take the Hawks.
The Browns are a good team.
I mean, I know, but I know you like the Seahawks as well. I think, I forget who they were playing this week, but I do remember seeing a good performance from I saw a great pass from Geno to Lockett. I saw,
but
a couple good plays by Kenneth Walker. I think they're a great team. Oh, and, who is it? Wotherspoon, I think that's his name, got another interception. That guy's nasty, dude.
I think
definitely a candidate for rookie defensive player of the year. Definitely a candidate.
I think offensively the Browns are starting to hit their stride, honestly. So
and you want to know what's so crazy about that? We're talking no Nick Chubb, and we're talking rotating between Deshaun and what's his face? We're talking 2 different starting quarterbacks.
That's kind of
trading off.
That's kind of where I was going with that, and I just think that if they can, look, all jokes aside, I don't expect their defense to play that bad again this week. So I think that when you put that combined with their offense just progressing better and better, I think that's good recipe for them. So yeah.
And you want to know what's really nice about this defense is like, obviously, we're talking Myles Garrett, right? Like he's the leader, he's the guy out there. But he's one guy, and there's maybe like 10 other guys. I don't know the amounts or anything. I don't know that much about football, but it's usually like, like you got this corner, and then you got this pass rusher, then you got it's really Myles Garrett up here. And then as far as I'm aware, I just see like 10 guys on tier 2. Like, I think everyone's pulling their weight. It's a team effort when it comes to that defense. Obviously, that's no disrespect to Myles Garrett. Like I said, he is better than the rest of them. But in terms of everyone else, I don't think there's like a number 2. I think everyone else just comes together as a team and is great on that defense, which, like I said, the 49ers I think the 49ers defense is better. But there's quite a few more names I could say on that defense. Hell, even there's some defense like the Chargers. I could say, yeah, like Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack are better than possibly Myles Garrett and everyone else on that defense. But when it comes to the other guys on that defense, they're not as good, not nearly as good. And I like that. I like team efforts like that. Like in the NBA, I like, teams coming together to win a championship, a big 3, stuff like that. So,
Yeah. So
woo! I just laid my eyes on this.
yeah. That's so. What I'll say is, I think the 49ers are going to win, but I think it's a very interesting position the Bengals are going to find themselves in, because either A, they lose this game and all of a sudden they're 3-4, and now it's like, okay, like they're digging themselves into way too deep of a hole. Or
in that division, yeah.
Or there's another world where they look fantastic and win this game, and then it's like, wait a second. And then now people start talking about the 49ers, and then now people start talking about how the Bengals are, can they make this run? So there's a lot of different storylines that can come out of this game that I'm really excited for. But let me not get ahead of myself. I think the 49ers are going to win. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I don't, but I do think the 49ers win.
I think so. Just to reiterate, this is barring anything. If we said something earlier in the podcast, like we might even cut out this section. Who knows? I'll take the Bengals. I will take them. I think they just came off a bye, so that's even more health time for Burrow to get healthy. If he wasn't healthy before, not to jinx myself for the Bengals, but he's healthy now. I think that in the locker room and in their heads, they are all saying, we are 3-3 in, I don't even think it's an argument, the best division in the NFL. And we are bottom, and we are being questioned right now when we should have been one of the best teams. This is our chance to say we are back. And I think that's a great mindset to have. I think Burrow beats Purdy at a quarterback position, if you needed to hear that from me. I think if Deebo Samuel is out, which he is against the Vikings, I'm not sure how that's going to age, but if Deebo's out, that's going to be tough. Christian McCaffrey is playing, but he had like 2 different injuries last year. I'm unsure if he's going to be healthy. If I had to guess out of all the players tonight, which one would get injured and change my opinion for next week's game, it would be Christian McCaffrey, because I don't know if they're rushing him back. I just see a world where the Bengals win, people start questioning the 49ers, Brock Purdy, and start saying because that would be so interesting. It would be so interesting if the Bengals beat the 49ers, show they're elite, and they're still at the bottom of the pack in the most interesting division in the football. Maybe it's just more so me wanting the Bengals to win for that storyline to happen, but I will take them in this matchup.
So I think we left off. So we both obviously agree that no, we don't actually. You think the Bengals are going to win. I think the 49ers are going to win. But like I said, again, everything that you said, I had said too. Like, I think that there is a scenario where that happens, and that's why I'm more so interested in, like, I don't care if I'm right or wrong about this game. I'm more so interested just to see what happens, to see like what storyline is going to develop out of this, because like it's going to make the NFL go in a complete 180, the outcome of this game, So
I mean, I feel like the issue is, though, with the 49ers winning, I feel like that storyline isn't even that good, because I feel like that's like the storyline that we saw from week 1 through 3, where the 49ers are this elite team beating elite teams.
No. But it's all about the Bengals at the end of the day, because now, look, people have dabbled in saying, oh, the Bengals, they still got to get it. They got a chance to get it together. they go 3-4 now with how good their division is shaping up to be. That conversation is gonna be echoing. It's going all of the news, all there hasn't been like the large media outlets yet saying, hey, the Bengals are legitimately going to miss the playoffs. If they lose on Sunday, they're going to be talking about the Bengals legitimately are going to miss the playoffs. And this is one of the most horrific follow-ups to an insane 2-year jump to where we thought it was going to be this team and this team in the conference every year. And now all of a sudden, in the middle of that prime, they're going to miss the playoffs. That's craziness. I don't remember that happening unless it had to do with injury. Obviously, the year after Brady and them almost went undefeated, they missed the playoffs, but that was because Brady was injured. Like he was out the whole season. So that's a wash. But it's interesting, man. It is.
All right. Now let's talk about something significantly less interesting. Chiefs, Broncos. And I said to Mike, and obviously I am very salty right now because great performance by Kelsey, great. But let me say, I'm going to rant a little bit because I was playing against him in fantasy and that didn't end well. Let me just say, a lot of Kelsey, that was on the Chargers, man. This man made, I think, one difficult catch. Now here's the thing. He's a great route runner. He's a great catcher. He's a great tight end. He's a great shover. He's great at everything he does. Best in the league right now. I don't think there's an argument for that. But, dude, the Chargers defense sold so hard. This man was wide open on every single play. And I am so sure that a lot of that is his route running because he is a great route runner. But every time, that's just like you could tell it was going to Kelsey. You could tell when you see a ball going to an area and you just see one guy there, just a glimmer of red and no white. You're like, Kelsey. Like, I saw some catches to Isaiah Pacheco, Valdez-Scantling, and there was a Charger on him, right? And it's like, why are they there? Why are they there when Travis Kelsey is open? So it's more about the Chargers doing awful than Kelsey doing good. And like I said, that's hardly to take away from Kelsey because I do think he's a terrific player, one of the best receivers in the entire league, if not the best, and he's not even a wide receiver. But like the Chargers sold so hard. Go watch the highlights. Go watch Isaiah Pacheco and Valdez-Scantling make catches in tight areas where they're getting well defended. And then go watch Travis Kelsey on every one of his receptions just be there. It's the most ridiculous thing of all time. And it was just pissing me off yesterday. I don't get that into fantasy where I'm like pissed, but I was like throwing shit.
Joe, I
swear.
I've seen you throw shit over much less, so it doesn't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying fantasy. I'm usually like on the couch, like if my team is doing bad. Yesterday, I was like, "What are you like? This is wide open. It's Travis Kelsey. If there's one guy in the whole league you don't leave open, it's Travis Kelsey. And every single time he was you could triple coverage Travis Kelsey, and there's still a 50-50 he makes that catch, let alone wide open.
Well, that's what I told you last week, man. I said last week, I think the Chargers have given up. Like, I think that they know that their season is basically, it's basically over. Like,
I don't even think the offense played that bad though. I feel like if you're talking half the team, the Chargers defense looked exactly like what you said. I don't think the offense looked bad. And I don't think they felt that way. Maybe they do now. But
I just also think too that you have to put it into preference too that like you're bugging a lot more because of just how you feel about the Chiefs in general, which I get. So on top of that, like, I get it, but
dude, if this team does not go back to back, if they don't, whatever scenario, whatever night, whatever occasion, that reality becomes fantasy, you're going to get a lot of explosive texts from me, a lot of F words, a lot of celebrating.
I mean,
And I'm going to finish this whole fucking bottle.
I'll never understand. I mean, I don't know,
Dude.
man. I don't like. I get it. I know people don't like to see that same team win every year, but I actually find it. The Chiefs find a way to make me like not root for them, but be like, it would be cool if they won it again. Because every year, no matter what happens, they were 3-1, 4-1, and people were still like, yeah, but this isn't that Chiefs from last year, and this team looks, and it's like people just keep finding ways to motivate them when they don't need any motivation, and so it's like they always somehow are somewhat more of an underdog than they should be, and it is the weirdest, craziest thing to me. I'll never understand it, but it keeps things entertaining to me, at least.
Well, here's the thing. I've always wanted the Chiefs to lose because I was afraid of them. I didn't want them, I'll say, to become a dynasty. I don't want anyone to compete with what Belichick and Brady had as a Patriots fan. I will always stand my ground and say I think Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes are class acts, and you can vouch for that. I have never talked shit about who they are as players, who they are as people. I think that they are fantastic people, and I wish them the best. Andy Reid, I love him as a head coach. The reason I will talk about I don't want them to be a dynasty, blah, blah, blah. We've already discussed this. Obviously, outside of those two, we're talking very obnoxious individuals that are related to Patrick Mahomes, who might have lived rent-free in my head for a time here and there.
But for me personally,
But I'm not done.
No, but just give me 2 seconds. Can I have 2 seconds to speak? If like I separate those things, like, and I get it. Most people don't. I get that, but like I try to separate those two things.
But see, so this is what I'm saying though. See, I wasn't done. Is those are things that make me not like the Chiefs, but it doesn't have me. But the thing that always had me actively rooting against them was the whole dynasty thing, right? Like Jackson Mahomes is a goober. Brittany Mahomes is a goober. Like they're losers. I don't like those people, but like they don't make me root. I just don't want there to be another dynasty. This is beyond that now. This is beyond that. This is a situation where like everywhere you look, the NFL is getting overrun by Swifties. Look now all the Chiefs fans are Swiftie. Prices are going up for home games. Prices are going up for away games. I understand why they're doing it. I understand it's I can still not like it. I hate it.
Let me play you.
If Travis Kelce was a superstar, which he is, if he was a superstar on another team that wasn't doing as good as the Chiefs, you still wouldn't see it. You wouldn't see it. You'd see some of it.
Obviously,
you'd see. I know, but I'm just saying the fact that the Chiefs have all this going for them pisses me off because guess what? It's not football. 90% of the times you hear about these fuckers are playing great football, fantastic football. They are great at what they do. Last year and the year before, it was Brittany Mahomes, this Jackson Mahomes, that. Not look at this crazy Mahomes pass. That was like one article of the week. Every other article of the week was, oh, look what like these guys did. Oh, Jackson Mahomes, they have a secret handshake now. Didn't care. I have a secret handshake with my mailman. You don't hear it on national news, bro. A secret handshake? Are you kidding me? How are you going to call it a secret handshake if they're putting it on national television? Like, I don't care. I seriously do not care about any of this shit. And you want to know what's funny? And I understand they're still doing it. It's like them doing reverse psychology on us. Is half the articles you see about all of this development is them saying NFL is getting, blasted by fans for talking about Taylor Swift too much. It's like, but you're still doing it. You're still doing it in this article by saying that. And first of all, look, this is just to preface why I do not like the Chiefs, because I do want to say, I want to be on record saying I love Patrick Mahomes. I love Travis Kelce. I love Andy Reid. I think this is a great football team. I think they're going to win championships. I think they could put up a dynasty that challenges the Patriots. I don't want them to. I would not like them to. And that part of me, or that part, makes me not want them to win. Meanwhile, this other stuff makes me not like them. I rest my case.
Well, first of all, you just proved that you do care, and second of all, let me play you a note on the world's smallest violin. I mean, my God, like I get it, man, but it's like who? Like,
Oh, I thought you were actually playing something.
no. Like I get it, man, but it's like if you choose to let that like make you like that, then I don't know. I really don't have anything to like retort with. Like,
Dude, can I just say one thing? Can I just say one thing?
Mhm.
The NFL, Roger Goodell, and here's the thing. Here's me, like saying I understand all the Taylor Swift like noise. He is an absolute unless you can explain this, blasphemous moron for not making her a halftime performance, because they were already dating when they made the halftime performance. I honestly forget who it is right now. Maybe Rihanna, right? Or something like that. No, she already did it. I forget who's halftime.
It's Usher.
But I know it's not Taylor Swift. And I know if it was Taylor Swift,
She had turned it down
oh,
years ago.
told you
And
you could tell me.
also the halftime show is always with Pepsi and she's with Coke. So it causes a conflict of interest. But so I just wanted to, before you delved any further, because first of all, Roger Goodell's not a moron. And second of all, but this is the thing I will say, right? And you're right. Like, this is the gripe that people have with professional sports. And because this is just the truth of the matter. It's not, and once you understand this, you're able to move past it. Like, most of these professional sports, it's not about the sport anymore. It's about the revenue coming in, because they're making more money than they've ever made before, and they're all just so blinded by money that that's just all that matters. You're gonna start seeing they're gonna keep adding more and more games to the regular season, which is gonna hinder the NFL players and make them more injury prone. They're gonna space games out during the week now, so there's a game on every day, which I think is terrible for the sport, because their big like shtick is that one Sunday we're gonna have you get to just watch one sport all day. It's not eventually not even going to be like that anymore, because they know that they can make more money if they stretch it out throughout the week. They're going to keep making things longer. They're going to ruin it. They're going to ruin it because they're money hungry, and it's unfortunate, but there's nothing that can be done about it unless people stop watching.
Well, I think we should probably move on, but let me just end it by saying I understand what you're saying, and what with the exception of the Super Bowl thing or the halftime thing, which you explained quite well, Mr. Pepsi. With the exception of that, it wasn't more so me saying why are they doing this? Why are they advertising Taylor Swift? Why? It's more so me just saying I hate that they're doing it. I understand. I completely understand. I just hate it.
I know you do. And by the way, I know we're going out of time, even though we're not really going to be talking about the other games much after this. But
it's like we're talking about Taylor Swift.
But I know you understand it. But I'm saying, I guess my point is, like, because I saw this, and again, not like this, but I saw years ago how the NBA said, okay, like, we don't care necessarily about the sport anymore. It's about the money. So I think I'm just so like turn a left eye to it that I just decide to like not I filter out all the bullshit and I just watch what I watch and I enjoy it. And I don't know. That's just where I'm at with it.
Well, I don't think there's anything that can be said that hasn't already been said. So we're gonna advance to the Ravens and Cardinals, and you'd have to literally not know football to root for them or take the Cardinals in this game.
Our Cardinals bottom three.
So the Ravens, the Ravens Panthers,
Doesn't have to be a thought. There doesn't have to be a thought.
Broncos.
Ah,
I
ah,
take no. Broncos are not as good as the Cardinals.
what? You're
Giants.
are you actually being serious right now?
Broncos are dick.
Well, yeah, but the Cardinals are 100% a worse team than the Broncos. What are you talking about?
I can see the purposeful tank in the Cardinals. I just think
Okay,
that
but
Broncos suck ass.
and that means they're oh god, I'm so okay. I don't want to get into hypotheticals, so let's just stop. Let's just stop it.
Yeah. Anyways, Ravens are gonna win this game. Lamar can pass the damn ball. I've said it for a while now, and we're finally we're at that point of the season again where we're seeing it. Notice how I said again, because every year he does seem to have some good games where he's passing the ball, and everyone just seems to forget about it. So we're at that point again where people are remembering he knows how to pass the damn ball. He is passing the ball. He's passing the ball well. Completely destroyed potentially the best team or one of the best teams in the NFC, the team to beat. Not only did he beat them, he destroyed them.
Huh?
Ravens win this game, no question about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Ravens win. Again, the Cardinals are tanking, so I don't think.
Let's go to the Sunday night game and hear you defend Roger Goodell again when I tell you that it's the Chargers versus the Bears. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, no, the schedules are disgusting.
We had a good Sunday night matchup last night. We had a good Thursday night matchup this past week. We have a okay Thursday night matchup. Well, going into the season, it wasn't okay, but yeah, no, this week's primetime games are just not it, man.
I actually think the Bears are gonna win.
No, you don't.
Why is that hard to believe?
You do?
That's not that. This is not that blasphemous to say right now.
This guy is dismissing the chart. Like, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. Okay. I understand that. I understand they're not going to make it. But if you just, it's from what you see, man. And I don't, the Bears aren't a good football team.
Well, I'm glad you finally admitted that, but
the Chargers, I mean, I think they've had some tough breaks. I don't think they're a great football team, but I think they're definitely a better team than the Bears.
Now,
and I think they're gonna win.
They could be a better team and still lose though. Like the thing is, the Chargers. Like I've been saying, I just think they're so mentally defeated that this is a game where they could come in and fumble up because it's like they're not playing for anything anymore.
Well, I especially think if Justin Fields isn't playing, the pass rushing from the Chargers is just going to be too much for a rookie quarterback to deal with. I know he won his opening game. He played excellent. He's more of an athlete than I thought he was going to be. But I just don't think the O-line is going to be able to give him enough time to make the decisions he was able to make against the Raiders.
We'll see. I mean, I'm not saying it's. I mean,
anyways,
I could be wrong. But...
Anyways, let's defend Goodell again and talk about the Raiders-Lions game. Like, oh my God, dude. Let's talk about the Lions. Do you take stock into what happened? Does this mean anything to you, or was it just, one of those games?
Yes and no. Like, I think what this shows is like, like I still think that they deserve to be, or even going into like yesterday, that they deserve to be in the same conversations as like the Eagles, 49ers, Cowboys, and like just based off how they were playing, like you had to throw them in there. I think regular season wise, like that still can be a discussion, but I do think the one thing that this proves is like they're not ready to be, an S tier team. Their ceiling could still be A. It still can be, but like I don't know. I don't think that they're I think it showed that they're still improved, like because everyone kind of was like, okay, yeah, like the Lions, we think they're going to get to the playoffs this year, but that's about it. And then there was this thing where it's like, wait, could the Lions like make a push? And then now it kind of brought everyone back to reality where it's like, okay, like still a good team, but there's still a ways to go.
Well, I feel like the way that everyone was talking this offseason was that this was their year. And
Nobody thought that. Nobody actually thought that.
The way I interpreted it, how about that? It's not what I thought, but the way I interpreted what people were saying, I guess, was that this is going to be their year. And I'll be honest, I would much rather this not be their year. I adore the I mean, see how that came out? I adore the Lions. I love them. I want them to do well. But I would rather them inch toward the end goal. I think that if we say that this is their year and they don't, put up what they're supposed to put up with the expectations that they have, they might make some spur of the moment decisions that worsen their team for next year. I think we need to view this year as, like you said, and as hopefully other people are saying, are a giant step in the right direction, a giant step from being a bottom 5 team for the past 10 years to a top 5 team potentially this year. Like, that's a huge step, but I don't want them to, make like this run to the Western Conference final, or sorry, the Western Conference, the NFC in NFC final, and then blow a load, like blow up, like get completely destroyed by whatever team makes it there, and then they're like, we can't win with this team. You can win with this team. This is a team that could easily win a Super Bowl over the next 5 years if you keep developing these players. A lot of these players are young. Like Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's young. Jahmyr Gibbs had a great game on Sunday. He's young. He had a great game and on a losing team. Like, that was fantastic what he put up. Jared Goff, the clock, I guess you could say, is ticking for him, but I still think he has a few good years of Super Bowl potential. So I guess what I should preface this by saying is, I think yesterday, I don't want to say it was a fluke, but I'm not putting the world's greatest stock into it when, you could look at a team that loses the way that they lost and be like, this matters. I don't think it matters as much to the Lions, but I think that it realisticizes them again, puts them into the shoes where it's like, hey, you're going to lose some games. Certainly doesn't help them in the race to win the division or do well in the, I'm sorry, win the conference. I think they're safe in terms of winning the division for the most part. But yeah, and before we forget to say it, because we're going to be talking a lot of Lions right now, I assume, before we forget to say it, let's just preface this by saying we do, at least I assume, you take them for the Monday night game against the Raiders.
Yeah. But my thing is, so Joe, like who, when you say that it's a Lions year, you're saying that people legitimately thought the Lions were going to win the Super Bowl?
So, how I told you when you were saying that people were saying the Ravens were going to make the Super Bowl, and I told you, like, I never heard that.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's kind of where we are right now with the Lions. I heard Lions Super Bowl talk.
Yeah, I just remember, because I go off of like the sports and media outlets and stuff, and like everybody was kind of, and I think the reason too why a lot of people might have thought like that was because people were so over emphatic about the fact where it's like, oh, like this is the Lions, like they're finally gonna win this division, like type of deal, where it's like, I think people spoke about them with so much excitement, but would still tell you like, hey, I think they still probably lose in the first round of the playoffs, So that's kind of the vibe I always got. And I think that, I think that's their ceiling for this year. I mean, they could win a playoff round, they could win a round, but I don't see them getting to, like you said, a conference championship. No, and I don't think I ever thought.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the reasoning behind me just not believing in the Lions as much as everyone else this year is because I still saw a 13-4 team in that division. Obviously things have changed and There's no shot they're going to come anywhere close to that, being the Vikings, by the way. But I just, like if that was a 13-4 team and it was a convincing 13-4 team, at least to me it was. Obviously not when they hit the playoffs, but I figured, hey, I didn't think the Vikings were going to be 13-4 again. But I thought it was like, hey, there's still a great team in this division you have to get past. And obviously, things happened exactly the way that the Lions wanted them to happen. But
Makes sense.
I'm going to divert really quick because there's a factor that I forgot to discuss with you that I kind of wanted to. I did yesterday on text, but let's talk about it right here. Odell Beckham Jr. had a great game. Do you take a lot of stock into the fact that he helped them be that elite over the Lions? And do you think that him playing as well as he did yesterday, or, give or take a little bit, is that going to be the new norm for him? Or did he just have a spectacular performance?
So because I like Odell.
Yeah.
I think it was just a one. Like I think he just had a great game, and that's all there is to it. I mean,
Like,
again, I could be wrong, but and there's enough time left in the season for them to make this a norm, but
mm-hmm.
I'd have to see a little more to determine that. But
And you want to know what's crazy though?
Hold on. And I think it's a good start if he's going to go in that direction, but I would just be really shocked after all this time, after all these injuries. Like a lot of times when people have like injuries like that are that bad and they work great, when they come back, they still show flashes of being great here and there,
mm-hmm.
but it's not on a consistent of enough basis. And I just think that's what we're seeing here.
And you want to know what's very interesting as well is I'm actually looking at the stats right now and I'm beyond shocked. He had the most receptions, but he only had the fourth most yards out of those people who are receiving. Gus Edwards caught one for 80 yards. So I guess let's cut it down to 3. But it was more so about him being available to. I think when we say that he had a great game, we're talking in obviously like in terms of the injury that he underwent, how he hasn't really been that well this year, and that he had a great game. Obviously his potential shattered after his ACL injury, and he was one of those players that was one of the best in the league for quite a bit of time. So when we say he had a great game, this is not great by any means for an OBJ standard, but I think it's if he would have come out of this and start getting back to his old self again, this would be a great icebreaker game for him to come in, do what he did, which was, put up some good yards for the team. I think if OBJ carries on like this, then we can start having even more discussions about the Ravens doing well this year. I never put them in a Super Bowl standard, so I don't mean that, but do some pretty good damage to some pretty good teams in the playoffs. I think we could discuss that.
Let's be clear. And again, I don't think it's going to happen, but if OBJ got back to his old self, the Ravens 100% could make the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. Without a doubt.
Wait, let me say one thing. I messed up on that. He's never going to get back to his old self because of age. If we can, how about this? If we can like make it, you and me, buddy, if he can make it look like he never had an ACL injury by the end of the year, that's what I mean to say. Obviously, he's older now, right? Like he's been on 4 teams and spent some real time with 2 of them. So he's not a young player anymore. He's never going to put up the numbers he put up in New York or Cleveland. But if he can come in here and look like a veteran, a healthy veteran player, then that's all the Ravens really need from him, in my opinion. A solid game, 5 receptions, no touchdowns, about 60 to 70 yards. That's wide receiver 2 material. That's what they need from him.
I get it. No, hey, I get it, man. I don't think you're gonna get it, but
I mean, people were talking the other day about the Ravens. They were saying like They still don't have a wide receiver one, and they don't have real wide receivers this season. And I'm sitting here going, what the hell are you talking about? Or I'm sorry, not even wide receivers, just options for Lamar to throw to. When did Mark Andrews get traded? He's still there. Mark Andrews is a fantastic tight end. Got 2 touchdowns this week. Has been one of the better tight ends in the league for a while now. Zay Flowers, fantastic offensive rookie. Early candidate for offensive rookie of the year. I think that has lessened and is almost out of the window. I wouldn't completely rule it out, but definitely some other guys showing more potential. What's his Odell, right? Like he's a great receiver. And then Aguilar is mid, Bateman is mid, but they're still both, guys who should make an opening night roster, right? They're both wide receiver 4s. He has a good wide receiver core in there, Like I don't think it's anything to like brag home about like the Bengals might have, or like, they don't have the 1-2 like Nakua and like Cup, but like I think that saying Lamar has no one to throw to is just ridiculous when there's teams that have way, 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 way less to work with.
Yeah, I agree.
Didn't hear you.
I said, yeah, I agree.
Oh, okay. Did we want? Because I know I totally sidetracked us off the Lions because I forgot to talk about Odell earlier. Is there anything else you wanted to say about the Lions? I think I said my piece for the most part, or the Raiders. Actually, I do have something I want to say about the Raiders. Are they 4 No, they're 3-4. Because they lost.
They lost.
Never mind. I thought they just won 2 in a row. I don't have anything to say about the Raiders other than I hope Jimmy G comes back. I'll tell you what. I thought it was an interesting decision to play Brian Hoyer instead of what's his name, O'Connell. I forget the rookie there. Because they were saying all week if Jimmy G can't go, they're going to use their rookie quarterback, try to get him integrated a little bit. But instead, they ended up going with the veteran Brian Hoyer, who has already shown what he can do in the league, which is nothing. I'm not sure. I am very familiar with Brian Hoyer. He was on the Patriots for quite a while. I think he had 2 stints here, actually. So everyone in the NFL world knows what we're getting out of Brian Hoyer. So I'm a little unsure why the Raiders started him when they had a rookie they could test the waters with. It's kind of ridiculous if you ask me, but yeah, that's all I have to say about the Raiders, I suppose. Do you have anything to say about the Lions?
No, I think I said everything that I needed to.
All right, then we are done here. Like I said, we are talking here on Monday. If anything develops during the week, that was not taken into consideration. If it was extremely relevant and we have the time, we will sneak it into this video when we edit it. But not saying that's going to happen. So like, comment, subscribe, let us know about some of your picks, and stay in touch for more upcoming content. Talk to you soon.
See you guys.